Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Died from Betrayal and Returned as God of Dragons movie. Before we start, please go support Alexander 3005 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Isay is a male. After discovering that Rias, Akeno, Asia and Xenovia have betrayed him, Issei's heartbreak triggers the deadly dragon's curse, a fatal condition that kills a dragon when betrayed by loved ones. As his life slips away, the angel of death, Ariel, offers him a second chance. Be fully reborn as a complete dragon and hunt for the crystal of the red god in the mysterious world of the dead. Accepting, Issei gains new weapons, a stronger balance breaker and immense power, but must control dangerous, unstable energy born from his rage. In this strange afterlife home to both resurrected souls and native inhabitants, Issei forges alliances, faces brutal enemies, and begins a perilous journey to revive and reunite with those who still love him, while the living world reels from the shocking news of the pillar of the alliance's death. Prologue: Death by Treason. Death by Treason. Of Issei. I'm waking up after a tiring day yesterday, although I'm happy for now to be the boyfriend of Rias Gremory, the heiress of the Gremory clan, my fiancé and king. I got up as usual, but it was strange not seeing the girl sleeping with me. I ignored it and went to get ready to go to Kuo Academy. When I went down the stairs, I didn't see the girls either. I had breakfast and went to the academy, but when I looked at the time it was still very early, so I was reluctant to wander around the city. When I arrived at a maid cafe, I saw some hair colors that I would recognize anywhere. Xenovia and Asia with some boys, and they seemed to get along very well. They will just be friends, don't be jealous Issei said to himself. Suddenly, I see something that freezes me. They're kissing those boys. But why? They said they loved him. Was it a lie? Why were they doing this to him? Narrate. But 1,000 more questions. He went very sadly to the park where he met Asia, but when he arrived, his heart broke even more. Why? Simple Himejima Akeno, her queen and part of her harem, were kissing a boy who was from another university. Issei, super sad and depressed, walks towards high school. Partner, are you okay? Said Drake, who seemed sorry and upset about what was happening. No Drake, I'm not okay. They lied to me, they betrayed me. I'm devastated. Sadly, Issei continues on his way. In class, Issei's classmates noticed something. He was depressed and very sad, but no one wanted to ask, not even his girls. Except Irina, who is very worried but couldn't ask him about classes and why he left very quickly during recess. Narrates Issei. I'm sitting in the club building, but I don't know what to do. I don't want Rias to worry, I can't worry her. I smiled with all my strength so that my sadness wouldn't be noticed, but almost as I entered I heard something. I saw something through the gap in the door that broke my heart. My Rias kissing a man I don't know at all, and what breaks me even more is that they were undressing. I looked the other way and saw Asia, Xenovia and Akeno, the same as Rias. That turned my heart, my happiness, my life to dust. Without being able to run away any longer, I didn't realize that when I left through the door of the club building, 4 girls were looking at me in a strange and worried way. These were Irina, Kaneko, Ravel and Rossweisse. They tried to follow me, but I went much faster to wherever I was going, so they tried but couldn't. Thinking it was some important matter, they went to their respective classes, since it was almost time for recess to end and classes to start. While I was running I ran and ran, without realizing it I reached a mountain. I continued walking until I got close to a cliff and I lay down on a tree. I'm sorry, mate. I didn't imagine they would do this to you. I'm sorry. Said my tenant, who was very worried about me. It's okay, Drake, it's fine, you don't have to worry about anything. Og. I suddenly spat out an excessive amount of blood which felt like I was vomiting. Or not the curse of the dragons. What do you mean, Drake? What are you talking about, that dragon curse? I said while I felt my whole body burn in a very painful way. It's a curse that we dragons have, which is that if our partner abandons or betrays us, the love you had for them will turn into poison which will kill you. Ah, so I'll die for love, what a thing. I would die for them to save them, but in the end they are going to kill me for their betrayal. Og. I continue vomiting blood since it's not spitting blood, it's vomiting blood. I'm sorry, buddy. If I had found out from the beginning, you wouldn't be like this. Maybe you could have been saved if it hadn't been for me. It's okay, Drake. Well, apart from the fact that there are 3 girls who would be the Redeed, the Himejima and the nun, you have a lot of love for them and that accelerated the curse in a way and now it can't be stopped. Drake, change carriers now, otherwise you'll die with me and I don't want you to die because of me. No, buddy, I won't leave. I'll be on the shooting range forever since I feel responsible for your death. Besides, you're the only bear I've ever had who treated me like a person, not a weapon. And lastly, because I don't want another bear. Thanks, Drake. Narrate. Isay begins to crack in a very strange way, which is an indication that he is beginning to die. How sad to die betrayed, hahaha. Said a mysterious voice in my mind. How sad to die without saying goodbye, said Issei. Alvian, we'll see each other, maybe yes, maybe not, who knows. Issei begins to crack more and more until particles begin to detach from Issei, disappearing little by little from the feet to the hips and from the hands to the shoulders, becoming more and more transparent until Issei's body disappears, leaving on the ground 8 pawn pieces which are cracked on all sides, giving it the appearance of being fragile. Ice's child. Where am I? This is being dead, isn't it? Well yes, mate. Greg. What are you doing here? Well. I am the reason, and first of all I'm just going to ask you one thing, do you want to live again? Chapter 1. Issei dead. And what do you decide I do? Narrate. It's been 2 days since Issei's death, but no one notices that he's disappeared. Who doesn't notice that someone is missing for 2 days? If my mother disappeared for 2 hours without coming home, she would hit me with her flip-flop V. Except for some teachers like Ross and Azazel, and some students like the friends of the perverted trio, the men of the Gremory and Citri entourages, and the girls who saw Issei runaway 2 days ago, along with the entire Citri entourage. In the occult club. Uchu-ho, how do you spell it? And on top of that I don't remember how to say urine to Rias, where is Issei-kun? Asked an orange-haired angel worried about the brown-haired boy. It's been a while since I last saw him, he said without much interest. Doesn't it have to do with the 2 days he ran off somewhere? Said the platinum-haired loli worried about her senpai. Maybe something happened with an acquaintance or relative of Issei-kun, said the black-haired sadomasochist. Well, changing the subject, today the leaders of the 3 factions will come along with the Yaokai race Yusaka-sama and the Norse god Odin, said the Redeed. And won't Issei-senpai be missing for the meeting? He's the pillar of the alliance, and if he's not at a meeting like this, it would be a problem, said the blonde phoenix worried. It's truly as if Issei-kun isn't here, it will be a very big problem, the Valkyrie stated worried about Issei. The hologram of a very hexy platinum-haired maid appears. Rias Ojuama, the leaders are already going to the occult club and tell young Issei to prepare himself since we have a surprise for him, said the platinum-haired girl seriously. Sure Gryphia, said the menstruating hair. We'll have to find Issei-san and fast, said the blue-haired Gremory. Sona-san will also be at the meeting, right? And she'll be here soon, right? Well, let's ask them for help, said the blonde, the ex-nun. I don't think they know since he's been missing for 2 days and no one has seen him anywhere, not even the students, said a new voice entering the room with his entourage, who were wondering where the perverted brown-haired man was. Sona, what are you doing here? It's too early for the meeting, said the crimson dog. Well, we came to help you look for Issei because if he is not in the meeting with the leaders as the pillar of the alliance, it could be a big problem, said Sona coldly since she knew what her friend was doing with her entourage and worried. For the brown-haired man, which surprised and made some girls jealous, but this fact did not surprise Serta Queen Citri knowing what her king feels for the perverted brown-haired man. Wait, what? Said a certain brown-haired man, stupefied by what the deity said. What you hear, do you want to relive again? The subject asked. I don't know, huh? The brown-haired boy said doubtfully. I am Iriel, the angel of death, and the truth is, I have good reasons for you to come back to life, said the subject called Iriel, who was a being with 4 white wings and golden armor with silver parts and a veil that covered his face and certain parts like his lower body. He also carried a sword which had a very strong aura. And that would be it, Issei asked. Those who still truly love you and those who love you in secret. Who? Issei asked, feeling bad for what Iriel said. The fact that he died and left behind girls who did love him made him feel miserable. Well, there's the Valkyrie Rossweisse, the Phoenix Ravel, Kaneko, Irina, the Issei Traicionado, the sister of the Nekomata Kuroka, the Yaokai leader Yusaka, the Mayu Seraphil Leviathan, and probably Office Ouroboros, said Iriel with a smile that couldn't be seen because her face couldn't be seen. Seriously, that's unexpected, but what do I have to do, or are you going to do it all? Said the brown-haired man. You won't have to do it alone, but I will give you a few weapons that will be useful for your future battles, said Iriel, as he gave him 2 swords and a scythe. This is the twins dragon sword set, said Iriel showing him the pair of swords. And this is the so-called crimson soul blade, he said as he showed it to her. And I'll also upgrade your other sword, he said as Ascalon appeared and transformed into a different sword. I know its design doesn't have much to do with the job it was created for, but I felt like changing it, so there it is, said Iriel, showing the new Ascalon. And also, apart from giving you these weapons, I will make you a complete dragon, he said raising his hand, and from there a light came out that enveloped Issei. See you young Haidu, Issei, said Iriel as Issei disappeared from that place to a world where the dead are alive and the living cannot inhabit it, and where our hero would begin his new adventure to revive and get together with his girls who still love him before it's too late, but he will get to know new people on his journey to achieve his goal. Chapter 2, New Life in the World of the Dead. Issei's POV. I was waking up in a huge green meadow with mountains in the background and a lake next to them, then someone called me. I narrate the Pokemon narrator. Hey buddy, are you okay? Asked the Welsh dragon. If I'm okay, what's up Drag? Well, after talking to that angel of death, a light appeared that swallowed us and we appeared here. You've been asleep for a whole day, said the dragon carefree. What? A whole day? How can that be? The brown-haired boy continued excitedly. Well, it will be because he had to transform you into a dragon 100% and well, I suppose that because of that change of race it affected you, draining all your energy, but it's worth it. I've been looking at your body and now it's more powerful since your energy reserves increased, as well as your magic, strength, resistance among others, said Drake proud of his partner's new power. Issei was surprised by all this, but he noticed a note on his side. He picked it up and looked at it. The note says. Dear Hayadu Issei, I am sending you this letter to tell you that due to some failures in turning you into a dragon, all the evil and resentment is personified in pure energy, but that power is unstable, so keep control of your emotions. I have also improved your armor and added a more powerful form called Dragon Soul which you will have to master. I have also slightly improved the power you have of the Hikuriku to a level good enough for a large-scale battle, and I have also changed your appearance a little. Your appearance is this. But love no homo he no homo irial. End of the note. Allah, this is new, said the dragon, slightly impressed by what the note said. And it is I'm really op, said the brown-haired boy with joy and a little arrogance. Yes, well, remember what the note says, you have to control your new armor called Dragon Soul, and speaking of that, let's see the new appearance of your new armor, said Drake anxiously. Bael Drake summoning the Crimson Gauntlet. Balance Breaker shouted the two companions. Appearing a crimson armor with a more noticeable dragon appearance than the old version of the armor. What an impressive companion, the new armor is incredible, said the dragon happily for the new balance breaker. Yes, my friend, this armor is more incredible than the previous armor, said the brown-haired man. Hey buddy, we have to find a place to sleep. Blues Drag, where do you suggest going? I sense a large crowd in that direction, go there. Good Drag, said the brown-haired boy deactivating his armor and going there with his new dark red dragon wings, with crimson silver touches. He heads towards the direction Drake said, finding a few kilometers away a somewhat large city somewhat large my that place seemed like a big city, if it weren't for the fact that it looked like an ancient Japanese city, he would think it was the capital of Lilith of the underworld. Issei landed and began to walk around the city, looking at everything with curiosity, until he reached a cantina, and then his stomach growled, and he thought about entering, but when he was going to do it, Drake told him. Buddy, you don't have any money, everything is in the other world, he said, speaking mentally. Wow, it's true that I was so hungry, said the depressed brown-haired man. The brown-haired man was about to leave, but heard a loud noise, turned around and saw a man with a sword inside the establishment threatening the man who seemed to be the owner of the bar. Partner said Drake. I know said the brown-haired boy seriously. Balance breaker they both shouted. Well inside the cantina. Come on old man, give me the money, said the man with a sword pointing at a man who looked very old. Please leave this bar. We don't have much money to pay you, said the owner fearfully, while begging them not to hurt him. Then suddenly the assailant flew away from the impact of a red gauntlet, then the brown-haired man was seen with armor where the bandit had been before. Partner, you hit him very hard, said Drake as he felt that the bandit had become unconscious. Yes, I think that if I go overboard with the force, this armor is very powerful, said the brown-haired man. Thank you sir for helping me with it, I really appreciate it, said the owner of the bar as the brown-haired man transformed. Nothing and no way then the brown-haired boy's stomach growled. You look hungry, let me offer you some food, said the gentleman. Well, thank you, said the brown-haired boy, happy to be able to eat. After eating. Do you know of a place where I can stay overnight, sir? I don't have any money said the brown-haired man, somewhat embarrassed by that detail. If you wish, you can stay here. This establishment has some rooms. You can stay there, as more thanks. Well if nothing happens then I'll stay said the brown-haired boy. And so another day ended for our hero. Great adventures await them the next day. Chapter 3. Narrated. Or after what happened in the canteen and having slept well in a good bed, headed to the outskirts of the city while doing so he spoke with his recent. Hal Drake seems strange to me, asked a brown-haired man confused. What's up, buddy? Are we really in the world of the dead? I mean, this place should be more modern, like Lilith or something. Yes, the truth is that it does seem strange to me, apart from when does a supernatural being go to the afterlife? As far as I know, these just disappear and cease to exist, and it is no longer known exactly what happens after that. Also, the style of the city does not match much with the style of clothing that some people wear, who wear a more modern style, said the dragon, confusing the brown-haired man even more. At that moment they saw a good number of bandits surrounding two people who seemed not to be worried about the bandits. Issei was about to go help them, but at that moment. Damn kids, you'll pay for this. Because of you, we've been humiliated and the citizens no longer respect us, so prepare to suffer. Said a bandit who looked like the leader. Neither of the two boys said anything, instead they got into a battle pose that seemed familiar to Issei. At that moment the bandits launched themselves at them, but to the shock of those watching the boys finished off the bandits. The boys were about to walk away, then a bandit stood up and approached silently and without them noticing. He was about to run the two through with a sword in each hand, but then a punch from a gauntlet to the face, that if someone came closer, they would see many teeth being pulled out and shattered into many small fragments, because of the power of the blow that caused the man to be thrown at great speed, sending him to a wall of a hut, passing through it from side to side, and reaching a small flat area in the middle of the city. "Hey Drake, I think I went too far," said the brown-haired boy with a drop of sweat running down his neck. "Well of course idiot, now you have much more power than before and also much more strength to the point of having an amount of strength close to the Bael, but not that close, but still a good amount," said Drake with a large drop of sweat on his neck. "Thanks for saving us, boy," said one of the boys with white hair. "Yes, but I was about to finish it," said the other black-haired boy. "And your name is?" asked the white-haired man. I am Haidu Issei. Chapter 4 Getting to Know the New World. Narrated by an underpaid narrator. "My name is Issei, and you?" said the brown-haired boy. "My name is Kujiro," said the white-haired boy now called Kujiro. "And I'm Kueru," said the funny-looking black peely now called Kueru. "Nice to meet you Kujiro and Kueru," he said looking at the two of them while saying their names. "Likewise," said the white-haired man stoically, "like the best Uchi of all, and whoever says Sasu I'll kick their ass v. Likewise, although thanks for helping us with that last one, you knocked him out with a tremendous punch," said the black-haired man looking at the destruction of the punch that Issei gave. "Yeah I used all my strength, but I forgot that I have a lot of strength," said Issei scratching the back of his neck. "Well, thanks you're not from here, right? You just arrived," said the white-haired man analytically. I arrived yesterday." "Are you from this world or somewhere else?" said the black-haired man. "Well. Partner, tell them the truth. It seems they know about our world," Drake said to Issei. "Okay Dragon," Issei said mentally. "Well, the truth is that I'm not from this world," said the brown-haired man to the characters in front of him. "I see, let's go to a more isolated place. There we will tell you about this world of native living beings and the dead brought back to life in this world," said the white-haired man stoically. "Living natives and dead brought back to life?" asked the brown-haired man. "At a bar at the edge of town 5 hours later, remember that you were in the middle of the city and the bucking place is huge and bucking." Issei was distracted by everything and everyone, or rather everyone, since the women of the city had amazing physiques and adding to that the variety of clothing styles, for Issei it was like a festival of female bodies. "So let's see if I understand, this world could be considered the world of the dead, where beings who die in the world of the living live and where the natives of this world live, and the only way to get here is if you have been someone important to the world, like a divinity bringing you to live a life of luxury and peace for the rest of your existence. Oh, and this is the limit of consciousness, meaning that if you die in this world your consciousness, body and powers will be permanently erased, making even resurrection in the living world useless. That's how it is, right?" said Issei, assimilating all the information given by the two proclaimed brothers in the middle of the explanation. "Exactly, good people are reincarnated here, but it doesn't mean that the natives have to be good. The bandits you saw are one of the many bandits there are, they are a small group separated from the larger group of bandits, that by the way is called libertines. How original, aren't they?" the black-haired man said sarcastically. "Well thanks for the explanation and everything, but I need to see a place to spend the night and go eat," Issei said lazily. "We can take you to an inn with some friends on the outskirts of the city. We're going there now, but it's on the opposite side of the city from here, so we have to cross the city again," said the white-haired man, somewhat annoyed. "On the other side of town after another 5 hours near dusk." "Thank you for hosting us here Remsan," said the black-haired man happily. "Well, since you've already had dinner, you can go to sleep." "Good night," Rem said in a friendly and kind manner. "Well, thank you," said our chestnut, going to his room and sleeping, waiting for the next day. Meanwhile in the mind of the sleeping brown-haired boy. "Where am I?" said the brown-haired boy curiously. "I don't know, buddy," said Drake behind him. "Oh Drake, are we in the booster gear?" "We are not in your mind young Haidu," said a new voice. "Hey Ariel, what are you doing here?" Issei asked curiously. "I came to tell you something, and that is that this is not your original dimension," said Ariel seriously. "It's not our dimension, explain yourself," Drake said suspiciously. "If you are in another dimension, in one where you can be reincarnated. Before you say something, I'll explain it to you." As you know, you are in a world where the dead from the world of the living die and a good person is capable of reaching this world. But what no one knows is that in this new world, after death, if you go on an adventure in search of an object, can you be reincarnated? Issei asked. Well, the thing is that in your case you are from another world, but I agreed on something with the god of time and space to bring you here. I cannot reincarnate you directly, so I brought you here so that you can reincarnate by yourself, although that does not prevent you from making friends. If your friends want, they can revive with you. The two boys you saw in reality are dead, only they do not want to go to their world, since in this time that world is chaos and no one is a good person anymore, although in your case, it would be to revive and in theirs to reincarnate. Well, without further ado, I will tell you what you have to do. You have to look for the crystal of the red god that in this world would be the god of everything. If you get it, you will be able to revive. Well, goodbye young Haidu, said Iriel, disappearing. But he left, and what do we do now? Drake asked Is. Rest for now. Yes, good night. Chapter 5. Because of him, Mirio. Narrator narrates. The XD World Occult Hall. Not even a day has passed since the last time we talked about those who are in the DXD world. Well girls, we have to look for Issei urgently for the leaders' meeting, said a certain Redeed. Yes, President, shouted those belonging to the occult club. If you Rias Sama, those of the student council, except Sona who did not put the Sama to the name. After that, the supernaturals, which is what I'm going to call them from today, went in search of the chestnut tree that disappeared 2 days ago. Most of the CDLO, occult club, went in command of Rias, while the C, student council, plus Arena with Sona, who as strange as it seemed in the eyes of the orange-brown, was uncomfortable in front of several of the CDLO and felt that she should go in the direction that those of the C took. Other girls also wanted to go, but they had to go with Rias instead. The same one, along with the traders, wanted to get away from that direction, giving them a certain strange feeling like resentment and more. Concentrated on Rias. C plus Arena, on the way through the forest to a strange presence that showed resentment, but not towards them. President Sona, how much longer? A certain blonde dragon king asked, with the title short, in my opinion. I don't know, Saji. It's strange, I feel a demonic energy full of resentment that seems familiar to you, right? He said, looking at his dear and then at Arena, who nodded, capturing the same presence which intrigued her beyond belief, as she felt the hatred and resentment held by the being or object that emanates it. They reached a cliff at the edge of which there was no more raging water, but a sea of vegetation, which seemed to respond to a certain energy in a negative way. As they got closer to reaching that presence, they began to wither scandalously quickly, to the point that the closer they got, the trees looked ashen white and the ground as well. The energy had corrupted the vegetation in a bad way. What happened here, thought everyone in the small group worriedly as they felt the lifeless cherry branch that once seemed to be a very good cherry tree. Out of pure curiosity, Sona carefully touched one, and it quickly collapsed without a sound, without a murmur. At that moment Sona retreated in a frightened manner upon witnessing such a scene of a tree which was very thick with a hard appearance, rejecting the sight of death, and at the same time with fascination upon seeing how the tree turned into dust in an exaggerated manner. We have to find that bad energy first. We can't let this continue like this, or else humans will realize that something strange is happening, Sona said. Yes, but won't it affect us? Because, as far as I know, this wasn't like this before, or rather, it wasn't like this 2 or 3 days ago, Spocky said nervously as he felt the presence intensify. It occurred to them to do something, and they took out their demon wings and flew up from the area and saw a good area with that withered vegetation. In that they realized where that presence comes from. It came from a point further away from the cliff and from where you could see black branches similar to roots. Exactly, there were 8 roots which had small cracks in their black bark, and inside these there were red parts that throbbed in dark tones in a threatening way. With fear they approached, noticing the bad energy around them when they were close. When they stood next to where the roots began, they saw something that left them perplexed. In front of them were some chess pawns with noticeable cracks around them. The most incredible thing was that from the same cracks, small roots emerged and joined around them, these being what formed the large roots that were destroying the forest. Sona very carefully grabbed the pieces, and to her dismay, she recognized them as Gremory pieces, to be exact Issei's pawns who was missing, and to Sona, it only meant one thing: Issei, the security, former Gremory pawn and secret love interest had died. Everyone seeing the pawns also knew what it meant. Dark times are coming for the factions, and after that day it will be made known to the high command that the pillar of the factions has died. Chapter 6. Brutal Enemy. Issei woke up after a long and exciting dream which was about Issei fighting with a wolf-like beast, which was colossal in size, with metallic parts on its body and behind it, shadows lining up to apparently fight against a brown-haired man. Issei wakes up and sees Rem entering his room. Issei-sama, get up, you have to have breakfast now, said the blue-haired mate in a professional manner, who smiled sweetly at Issei. Of course Rem-san and the Sama is not missing. Issei getting up goes to change and put on some clothes that Kujiro gave him. Issei put it on and went with his friends, and there he found Rem's sister, Ram serving food, while others were hanging around the house, which now that he looked closer, was a somewhat large Japanese-style mansion. Looking around he saw a girl with long bluish platinum hair with a lock of hair covering her right eye, the visible eye was blue. It's Elizabeth from Nanatsu no Taizai or the Seven Deadly Sins, same outfit, and in the distance he saw a girl with dark blue hair with a harem-style haircut with strange eyes being entirely violet. In Issei's sight she seemed blind, but he saw that she had perfect eyesight. It's Hinata. I will put Hayanabe in a next cap or in this one, who knows. Hello Issei-kun, Hinata said kindly, sitting at the table, which was very large. Hello Issei, said Elizabeth approaching and sitting next to Hinata. From what Issei understood, there were several tenants in the mansion who were elsewhere carrying out their activities since they woke up early. Issei, downplaying it, returned the greeting. Hi Elizabeth, Hinata, how did you sleep? Said the brunette in a friendly manner to the girls, who smiled at easily deciphering what the brunette looked like. Very well, thank you for asking, Hinata said kindly. Then sisters Rem and Ram arrived serving breakfast to everyone in the house. After breakfast Issei asked. Where are Kujiro and Kueru? He said curiously since he didn't see either of the two brothers while he was having breakfast. They said they would go to the city to get some things to explain this world to you better, Elizabeth said calmly while eating some toast with a cup of coffee. Okay, thanks for telling me. I was thinking of looking for you to ask you for something, but for now I'll have to wait. By the way, do you know a place where I can train a little while I wait? Said the brunette curiously to the girls. There's a forest nearby where you can go train there if you like, Issei Samaram answered the brown-haired boy in a friendly manner, while her sister and Issei collected the food from those who had already eaten. Okay thanks, Issei hurried and quickly gave Rem the cutlery and thanked her. Afterwards Issei went to the forest they told him and started looking for a good place to train. Hey started talking to Drake about how to train. Hey Drake, what do I have to do to train my new powers? Well, for now we will see how much power, strength, speed and resistance you have to be able to train more adequately, since although I could see it, it is better that we try it so as to have a small warm-up before starting the Tordu. I say training, he said Drake anxiously as he began strengthening his best carrier and best friend. Because I have a feeling it will be very painful, said the brown-haired man tremblingly as he imagined what his tenant and soulmate will literally go through. They started with a very easy training regimen for Issei not to control his power well, so that he would continuously adapt to his powers by intensifying it every time. What they did was that to test and train Issei's power, he had to take out an energy bomb like the dragon shot and destroy it between his hands without dispersing that power or exploding it in his face, thus each time adding more power to the sphere to make it more resistant and explosive. Thus, apart from testing the amount of magic he had, he also showed the amount of magic control he had by preventing the sphere from exploding. By concentrating on preventing the sphere from exploding, it should be noted that it exploded many times at the beginning and also trained the strength to have to destroy the sphere. Also, to test his strength he had to hit objects. At first it was to see how much strength he had when hitting a huge rock with all his strength without the balance breaker. The rock shattered into millions of stone fragments, also hitting dead trees, but this time controlling his strength as much as possible so as not to destroy them with a few hits. And for speed and endurance, Issei started doing parkour through the trees as fast as possible, jumping on branches, trunks or swinging on vines and branches like that for 2 hours, testing the endurance he had by putting it to its limit. After several hours Issei felt an unusual evil energy signature growing larger, and suddenly a large earthquake followed by an explosion was seen in the distance. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.